it's going to all go out.
Yeah.
And you weren't someone that kind of started vlogging when they were 13 and decided to keep going and going and going. So where was your creative process before you started?
29, past it when I started. I sort of, I knew about a year and a half before I uploaded my first video what I wanted to do. I think the problem that I found is I sort of set myself up. Oh, is that me making that noise?
Yeah, it's your breathing. If you could just stop breathing.
Okay, I sort of just set myself up for way more than I could actually deliver, which is why becoming YouTube 2 is so insanely late. But I suppose that as time went on and I made more and more videos, what you want to do is just surprise people. You want to keep doing things that an audience won't expect. And also, I suppose for me, I want to try and impress my mates. So what you think, or what Jack Howard thinks matters a lot more to all of
matters
us.
to me.
Yeah. Than what any of that lot think. But like, it does. It makes a huge difference when Jack or Casper or Dan or Phil or anyone will say, I loved what you made, and then you know you're doing it right, and you want to keep striving to impress your peers and your mates.
And was that always the case before you put a video out? Was it, I want to impress these guys, or was it, I want to impress these guys, but I want 50,000 people to see it as well?
I wanted to impress my mates first and foremost, but I'd be lying if...
This is just God, he's going to accompany your answer.
It's dance music. I'd be lying if I said that if you upload stuff, anybody, even the most introverted of YouTuber, you have to have a certain arrogance in order to believe that what you're making is worth even 2 or 3 minutes of someone's time, especially half an hour of someone's time. As such, of course you want people to watch it. You convince yourself when you start YouTubing that you don't care about how many people watches it as long as it makes you happy, but obviously that's bullshit.
And has that changed since you've now put the whole series out and you were putting the Infinite Perverse out? Was the aims different in terms of when you thought about structuring the content? Was it has to be under a certain amount of time because I'm on YouTube? Or?
Well, for the Infinite Perverse, which is a short film that I made and uploaded a few weeks ago, that was different because I knew that I wasn't in it, which is a harder sell if you're uploading something to your channel. It didn't have Jack Howard in it. It didn't have, Dan Howell in it. It was always going to be, it was about 3 people who were just sat in the bedroom, so it was always going to get sort of less views. But you're still there refreshing the page. But whenever I've uploaded any becoming YouTube episode or any short film or anything, I then spend like 24 to 48 hours in like a post-mortem period where you're just refreshing and reading every comment, blocking people on Twitter.
Can you unblock me, by the way?
Say again?
Can you unblock me? Alright.
No, definitely not. Once you've blocked, check it. That's how it works, Jamie.
Okay. Now we move on to Phil. I think of you as probably the most traditional type of YouTuber, as a vlogger in the most purest form, I suppose, because you seem to have been around so long. So what was the creative process for vlogging as opposed to comedy videos or beauty or painting videos? What is the process for a vlog?
Yes, I am the dinosaur of YouTube. My creative process usually comes from my everyday life, and if something small or slightly amusing happens to me, I'm like, how could I turn this story into a video? How could I act out this strange thing? Like the other day, a lady asked if I wanted to buy her dog, which was a weird situation. Why would you just sell your dog to a guy in a bakery? I don't know why she was telling me that, but I'd like to think that I can think, how could that be turned into an amazing hill video? But I try not to think too much about the reaction to videos, it's more just about how I like to make them, and then I just see what people say and hopefully they enjoy them. Yeah.
And as you keep going, I suppose that you would start to form more of a succinct process in your mind, because I suppose when you start, was it clear what you were aiming to do, or was that
No way. If you watch my first videos, they're all over the place. It's like a video with no edits, and then this messed up thing where I'm climbing into a wicker basket and the world is ending. It's like, it's a strange place, but I think I've flowed into more of a style, and now I know what I'm doing a lot more. I think after 9 years I probably should know what I'm doing.
And same thing, and last but not least, how have you found your creative process was at the beginning, and how has that evolved over? What were the things that made it evolve? Was it just making things for a long time, or was there a factor involved?
Yeah, well, my content definitely improved over time. Any fans of Hello Internet out there? Yeah. It can start off really bad and get better. My difference is that compared to a lot of, especially the old school vloggers like Phil, I kind of came in after a few years of watching all of the people like Charlie O'Suffel and Shane Dawson and people already doing what they do. So I came into YouTube more or less knowing exactly what I wanted my content to be. Exactly, it's like the second video I made, Butterfingers, is a reason why I had to fail, and it's exactly the same format and structure as the video that I uploaded last week about spoilers. So I've always been doing the same thing. I've just gotten better at it. You've got much better. Thank you.
So if we go right away to the end with Mickey, Dan talked about influences there. He talked about people that inspired him when he first started. So Charlie O'Suffel was a person in his vertical, which is one fancy word for it, that influenced him. What about yourself? Was there someone on YouTube or in mainstream media that you saw and not emulated, but thought, this person does what I want to do, I want to, you're inspired by them? Yourself at the end. Yeah.
Like who was an inspiration to me?
Yeah, do you have any, and has that just keep going?
One of my biggest inspirations, I'm sure you've seen his vlogs, Olin Rogers, he, or maybe not, he started off on a sketch comedy channel called Balloon Shop, and I've been watching their channel since probably '06, and Olin's just he really made me appreciate vlogging and stuff like that. He's hilarious, and yeah, he's always been a huge inspiration to me, so.
That's brilliant. And Josh, yourself?
One of my inspirations, probably the guy who kind of got me started, showed me the ropes and stuff like that. His name is Super Ego. He did a lot of skits titled Cholo Adventures, and I really got a lot of inspiration and influence from him. So yeah.
That's cool. So when you look at that, do you think, I don't want to be exactly like someone, but I'm starting out? What do you take from them, or what comes inside and stays?
From him, I really got his work ethic, the way he made skits happen, his whole writing process, just the whole process of it. That's really where I got my inspiration. Not trying to copy the sketches he does, finding my own, what I want to create, and then seeing how he makes it happen. That's kind of how I get inspired.
We'll move on to Arden. When you're starting out, if you can think back to when you're beginning, were there people that inspired you, and who were they, and are there people still now that keep inspiring you, or do you have a focus more on the content you produce yourself?
That's tough, because I feel like everyone on YouTube inspires each other. If you still watch YouTube videos as a YouTuber, which I think every YouTuber does. In the beginning, I was a beauty guru, so I was watching Juicy Star 07. I was watching the Fowler sisters. We were having some fun. And then when I started doing vlogging, it was, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of like a lazier beauty. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't have to put makeup on my face. But no, I would say that most of the inspirations I have are not always on YouTube. A lot of times I'm obsessed with anything on Comedy Central. I find that a lot of the jokes that I make are things that I've just stolen from TV. So I'm really selling myself, aren't I? Yeah, no, I find that most of the time inspiration comes from just what you're ingesting all the time.
Let's move on to see, because we're on a time limit today, I don't know if you've noticed, we want to talk about what is the most important element in your process. So maybe if we start with Ben and then go to Jamie, if you had to distill what the most important element is to you in the factory when you're become a YouTuber or in a film, what is that key thing that every time you have to nail?
The most important element in... Oh man.
It's an easy one, just take your time.
For me, I know the most enjoyable stage, and perhaps because it is the most important, is the editing. You can save something you've completely cocked up in an edit. You see something really taking shape, and sometimes it surprises you. I think once you're, especially more filmic stuff and narrative stuff and sketches and short films, you kind of should know when you get to the set what it is you're filming, and there isn't much leeway. Whereas when you're sat there at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're editing, and suddenly you get an idea, or you can change the whole nature of a scene with a certain shot or a certain look or a certain line or a bit of voiceover. That's kind of it's both the final stage editing, but also I think the most exciting. So I guess that's the most important.
Well, how about yourself, Jamie? What's the most important thing to you? Are you thinking, okay, I want to do this picture in a style of this, or what is the most important factor for you in creating your content?
Well, recently I've actually been working for Disney and DreamWorks, so right now it's making it kid-friendly and making it, maybe if I'm doing a tutorial or something, making sure it's something someone can replicate and do themselves. On my own channel, though, it's more of how complex can I make this to make sure that no one else can do it. So it's kind of weird process for me, I guess. So I'm in between those zones.
So Phil, if you had to distill for someone, what is the thing that you keep coming back to when you make your content? What would that be? What's important to you each time?
It's me.
It is.
It's like, I don't know. The most important thing. I was the most again, sorry?
What is the most important thing for you when you make your video type things?
Most important. I think the idea really, I'll have loads of ideas and I'll think, will that actually make a good video or can I not blow up a space station? Probably not. But yeah, I think ideas are really important and you can write loads of ideas down. Just keep a book in your pocket and a little notebook and then you can write down anything that inspires you slightly and that can turn into a video. You don't even know, like 3 months down the line, you'll be like, what is this 7-second challenge I've written down? Should I make a video of this? That's probably going to be a vlog.
Hashtag fun.
To try something out as well, because I've tried out some ideas that I thought I'm just not going to work at all, and then they've turned into, well, I think, pretty good videos. Hopefully you agree. But yeah, I'd say the idea is my most important thing.
And Dan?
Yeah, I think definitely the idea is the most important thing because, like Ben said, I approach my content as they're really all about things. It's like my videos, they're always kind of me exploring a topic for 5 minutes. So for me, I want to come into the video basically knowing exactly what I want to say about something. So usually the entire video comes from a single piece of inspiration, which is usually just like the title of the video in my head. It's like the other day when my friend spoiled the ending of a TV show for me, I was just like, oh, that's really annoying. And then Phil went, why don't you just make a video about spoilers? And I was like, yeah, that's it. And then it was 5 minutes later, had the video exactly like that.
So it was basically my idea. So you need a Phil to think of ideas.
So before we open it up to questions, I want to find out 2 key things, because we can think about our creative process, but after when we look at something, what is it that makes us think that's a success? So it'd be interesting to start with Arden. What makes a video a success to you, and what makes a video good to you, and are they the same thing or are they different?
Most of the time I think a video is a success to me if I have a really positive comment section and if I get a lot of likes. And not necessarily, and by that I mean I just want positive response to something. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that a video has to get amazing views, but if it means that someone is connecting with it and really appreciating either the hard work or whatever else is in that video, depending on what it is, then I appreciate that more than a 3 million view video. You know, I would rather have someone really, really like a video than watch it 10 times. But I guess that's kind of one and the same.
So I'll pass that down to the end. So Josh, what is it when you look at a video posthumously after you've made it, you say this is a success because, or this is good because, and is there a disparity there?
Yeah, I guess for me it's like when I script something out and I film it and then I edit it, and the way I visualize it came out in the final product, I'll be like, this is a success. Because a lot of times, I film it and when I go to editing, I'm like, okay, this does not translate the way I wrote it and stuff, Or the other way around, like I'll write something and then when I edit it, I can save it, but when it just all works out, smoothly, I consider that a success.
That's cool. So we pass it on to Mikey. What's your markers for success? And then also for goodness.
I think for me it would be something that I worked really hard on, but when it's finally done, I'm really proud of it, and I can walk away and say that's the most that I can give at this specific time with the time that I had for this project. But I think it was more than enough, and I'm super proud of it. Yeah.
I think we can all relate to that. We could talk about what we think our creative. You need to know about creative process all day long, but it'd probably be more beneficial if you guys asked us about your stuff. Who has a channel by show of hands? Oh, I expected a lot more. So if we kind of think about your own channels and your content and what you're interested in knowing, what is it about creative process you want to know? Your hand's shot straight up. Was it up already and I didn't notice? Should we have a question? Let's have a running microphone running around. I mean, don't hurt yourself. You can walk if you want. That's good.
Health and safety.
Just introduce yourself. Introduce yourself and fire your question away.
Hi, my name is Kirsten. I just wondered, when you upload a video that's kind of different to what you that changes the tone of your channel, how can you be sure that your viewers are going to like it and it's going to be a success?
That's a really interesting question. Who wants to go with that? I suppose, Arden, you've changed your video style.
I can totally talk about that. It's really hard because, at least for me, I swear I want to make 20 different types of content. I really don't like thinking that I'm a vlog channel, because I would love to do short films. I would love to do beauty videos again. I would love to do just anything that's out there on the web. I would love to upload a 40-minute video of me talking about something. That would be awesome, but think now it's become something where I kind of have to cull it a little bit to make sure that everyone else is happy. I can't, as sad as it is, it's almost like I kind of have to put my happiness second to whatever my fans want, or subscribers. But I don't think you should start off your channel in that mindset. I think you should do whatever you want, and that should be your channel, doing whatever you want. I really wish I could do that.
Does anyone want to jump in on that, or we'll jump to another question if no one wants to jump in? We good? Who wants the next one? You waved at me. Have we got the microphone's down here. We'll do this one. Sorry.
Hi guys. What do you do with the blog when you cannot get the ideas out? So what are your options to do that?
So if you hit a creative wall, what's your name, sorry?
It says her.
Hello. So if you hit a creative wall, you can't get your ideas out. Does anyone want to come in?
I'd say go somewhere that you don't usually hang out. Like me, it's outside. So if you go for a walk around a park or just do something, get some energy into your system, and just then it'll make your mind think about different things. If you've been in your bedroom all day, you're trying to think of an idea, you're staring at a blank wall, just go and change your settings, scenario, write things down, listen to music, and then hopefully that'll spark something up. Or just watch someone else's videos. Don't steal people's ideas, but just like watch someone's videos and then see if you can get any inspiration from that as well.
Anyone want to jump in?
Or do steal people's ideas. Like, not to disagree with you, but like Tom Scar says, said on a number of panels that if you steal from enough places that no one can tell where you've stolen from, then you're sort of okay. And everyone steals a bit and is inspired. So inspiration. Yeah, inspiration rather than perhaps stealing wholesale, but it's often where you take something to rather than where you took it from.
Where's the microphone hanging out? There you are, hello. So is anyone on this side that you're near? This is it, this is an exciting moment.
Hi, my name's Lucy. Do you ever kind of panic while thinking about looking through the comments because you're kind of afraid of negative response, or do you just ignore the bad comments?
Let's go to Mikey first for that, right down the end.
Okay. Just thinking about like I get the most hate mail or something.
No, you just seem the happiest. That's all.
In all honesty, when I see stuff like that, I try to ignore it. I like to respond to as many of like the first 50 to 100 comments that like comment on my video, because it's just, that's cool that they're there that early. And I think if you embrace the great things on your channel in the comment section, that it'll keep coming in like greater doses as you continue making videos. But I try to ignore it because I don't think there's any point in feeding whatever that is, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the way I look at that.
How do you feel about that, JB? What would your response be?
I don't handle hate well at all. I can't ignore it. I'm the kind of person where I've read it and it's in my head, and so you try, and that's the best you can do. I'd say don't engage with it, because the moment you engage, you're giving attention to that person versus someone that actually is a nice person that you could engage with. But yeah, it's difficult.
I think that's an important point. Not feeding the trolls is important, because if someone's just saying something on their own, it's just smoke in the wind, isn't it? So don't dwell on something, because it might be nothing to them, but it might mean everything to you. Don't let it mean everything to you. Who's got the next question? Right. Wow, you get around, don't you? Okay.
Hi, my name's Hannah. I guess Arden kind of answered that question already for her channel, but I was wondering if any of the others feel obligated to make a certain content because of the niche they kind of fit in over time, or do you just hope that people will accept whatever you do just because they like you as a person?
Let's go to Dan and or Phil. I mean, it must be hard having really big followings and consistent content that is of a certain style. Do you feel anything towards that?
I feel like we have a really great relationship with our audience in that they'd be quite open to accepting anything different that we want to put up, like our trailer, for example. Just like the weirdest thing, like possibly imagine. It's like, have this thing with no context whatsoever. But I'm not really afraid to do that. I think that, remember when I made that video about pom bears? Did anyone watch that? Why did you? That's the example. I make this kind of content, but hey, I'm bored on a Thursday afternoon, I'm just going to make whatever. I'm not scared of really uploading something completely random and just seeing what the reaction is, because I don't think anything bad can really come of it.
Is that something that you grew to feel, or was that something you always felt?
I think it's something that I always felt, because I think earlier on I was kind of like, it doesn't matter what I do, because it has no meaning, but later on I was kind of like, I don't feel like it would be a bad thing if I would, so I'm quite good in that regard.
I'd always be a bit more nervous going out of my comfort zone with the videos, but I wouldn't be scared to do it. Like, I did a tour of my brain video, which was a lot different to what I would normally make, and the reaction was just like, wow, this was creative and interesting, we liked it. So I think if you've made something you're proud of and you want to do something slightly different, it's your channel, so you should be able to do what you want with it, really.
Brilliant. Where is the microphone heading? So run to the nearest person with a hand in the air. Would you like to introduce yourself and ask your wonderful question?
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello. My name's Tilly, and my question is, how hard is it to post videos regularly? Because I watch some of your videos, and sometimes there's like months in gaps. So, no offense, I love your videos.
I feel like somebody wants an answer from me there. No, the thing is, like, me and Phil, obviously, we do like a billion things that Renault's are doing at the moment, but I don't feel there's this whole kind of YouTube, kind of creator vibe where it's like you feel like you have to make a video once a week, you have to do this, you have to do that, and it's when people feel that they have to follow the same kind of like concrete schedule. Like YouTube has no rules. It's like you upload a video, that's the only rule that there is. Everything else was kind of imposed by the creator community, all these trends that people do. So for me, it's like I'm not gonna compromise the quality or originality of my content just to try to get something in. Because I tried to do that for a bit in 2012 when I wanted to die, and I uploaded a couple of videos and I was like, no, that's awful. So now I'm like, I am quite happy because of my, I'm not losing touch with my audience because I'm still active on all these other things. For me, it's just about, I want to make content that I'm proud of, that I think is good, and I'm not going to upload it until I think it's worthy. And thankfully, I mean, this is a privilege that I have in that I can do that now because I've got an engaged audience. Younger people might feel like they have to output that content, but I think always make stuff that you're proud of. That should always be number one.
That's a good note to end that one. I was going to pass it on to Arden and Josh, but I think in the interest of seeing as many people as possible, we'll go to another question. You're waving your hand frantically. Are you okay, or are you in pain? Are you good? Should we pass it along to the lady who's waving her hand a lot? I mean, that's just going to spark a load of waving, isn't it? That's good.
First of all, Dan and Phil, love you. My question is, if you do a range of videos but you find one kind of section that you like, would you switch to kind of that category or carry on doing whatever videos? Love you.
I don't think I'd ever fully switch to making different videos from the main. That's my party trick there for you.
Random explosion noises.
The main amazing Phil things, but we made a few gaming videos ages ago. We never even posted them. We just made them to see if that was something we'd want to do.
Would this be bad?
Would this be bad? Would this be a thing? And we enjoyed it so much that we make a whole new channel out of it rather than changing our original content to include gaming. So it's a...
Let's go down to Josh for that as well. How do you feel about, the question was asked in terms of changing your content or what it is. Do you think there's an issue with that? Are you okay with that? Are you okay switching between different types of videos or different categories?
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm very different with my videos. I don't really stick to one specific format. I kind of just do what I want for that